Now that you understand the true power of the Rosary, ask yourself, are you merely going through the motions of devotion, or are you truly offering your heart to Jesus Christ? Every Hail Mary said with faith, every mystery meditated on with sincerity, is an opportunity for transformation that can change your life, your family, and even the community around you. Think of the young Christians who, through this practice, find strength against temptation, peace in times of crisis, and clarity to live according to the gospel. And you, are you ready to feel this change in a real, profound way? The practice of the Rosary is more than ritual. It is an invitation to active spirituality, constant worship, and intimate connection with Mary and Jesus Christ. When embraced, it becomes a spiritual armor that protects, strengthens, and teaches virtues like patience, humility, and perseverance. Try incorporating it into your daily life, during Bible study, before a worship service, or even in quiet moments at home. Notice how sincere prayer can produce miracles, transform hearts, and create a stronger bond with God. That's why, in this message, I want to share a powerful warning from Saint Faustina about the Rosary. But what many fail to realize is that every time we hold the Rosary with faith, we are opening channels of blessings, protection, and divine grace. To activate this power, write in the comments, "Lord, may the Rosary be my strength and protection." An act of faith that fortifies your soul. Now, follow along with me and discover what Saint Faustina revealed about the power of holding the Rosary with devotion. Humans tend to operate on autopilot. Wake up, rush through tasks, and before we know it, even prayer becomes mechanical. Saint Faustina understood this when she said that holding the Rosary without inner preparation is like holding a book without ever opening its pages. In Christian spirituality, the Rosary is not a pocket talisman but a call to living faith. Even before touching the beads, one needs a moment of silence, almost like preparing to enter a church. It is in this pause that the soul opens to what the Bible and countless testimonies of faith have always taught. Sincere prayer is stronger than any hurried repetition. Imagine someone sitting down for a worship service or sermon without first quieting their heart. Their mind is so full of noise that even the most beautiful praise cannot penetrate. The same happens with the Rosary. If prayer is only on the lips, without awakening the spirit, it loses its devotional power. A small gesture can change everything. Closing your eyes for 2 minutes, taking a deep breath, offering your life to Jesus Christ in thought before the first Hail Mary. This simple inner preparation allows faith to move from theory to lived experience, just as young Christians find in silence the first step toward truly feeling God. Many believe that simply holding the Rosary will bring miracles, but Scripture and church tradition show that the miracle begins within the one who prays. It is like tuning an instrument before playing. Without this adjustment, even the most beautiful song sounds off. This tuning of the soul is what Saint Faustina called spiritual awareness. Those who prepare this way do more than recite prayers. They immerse themselves in dialogue with the living gospel, becoming part of the worship that unites heaven and earth. This first step helps us understand why the Rosary was never empty repetition, but always a powerful weapon in Christianity. Throughout church history, saints and preachers have insisted that prayer is not only comfort but also a shield. In this sense, the Rosary becomes a true spiritual sword in the hands of the faithful. It is no exaggeration. Those who dive into this devotional practice discover that each Hail Mary carries the weight of a fortress against temptations and thoughts that weaken the soul. Scripture repeatedly shows that persistent prayer can change entire destinies, and the Rosary embodies this in beads that guide the heart to Jesus Christ. Many young Christians, for example, testify that this practice helps them resist in environments hostile to faith, turning weakness into courage. It is common to hear that the Rosary is mere repetition. Yet what many fail to see is that every spiritual discipline requires rhythm. Just as worship services have chants repeated until the soul is calm, the Rosary uses repetition to imprint the gospel on the heart. It trains the mind for continuous prayer, as the Bible advises. Think of it as a spiritual gym. Each Hail Mary is like an exercise set that strengthens the muscles of faith. Those who persist in this routine gradually find temptations losing their power and worship becoming as natural as breathing. There is also a real aspect of protection. Many testimonies show that families who pray the Rosary together experience peace in turbulent times. It is not magic, it is concrete spiritual life. By sincerely repeating, "Holy Mary, Mother of God," the heart anchors in Mary's intercession, awakening an inner strength beyond words. Even in times of global crisis, the Rosary has been seen as a weapon of victory. Historical battles were won through the power of this prayer. What is most fascinating is recognizing that we are not talking about an ordinary object, but a practice that spans centuries, opening space to reflect on the true value of sincerity in prayer. Many people believe that the more you pray, the greater the grace you will receive. But the Bible and the Church's own sermons remind us that Jesus Christ always valued sincerity over quantity. When the Rosary is prayed merely as a race to accumulate Hail Marys, it loses its devotional essence. Spirituality empties when the lips speak, but the heart does not follow. It's like singing a hymn in church without paying attention to the words. The melody may come out, but the soul remains distant. True prayer doesn't need speed, it needs surrender. When the faithful dive in with faith and love, even a single decade prayed with attention carries more power than an entire Rosary recited mechanically. Faith testimonies show that the greatest transformations happen when prayer comes from the heart. Saint Faustina said that one Hail Mary prayed with sincerity could echo in heaven more strongly than 1,000 words repeated without soul. It's like the difference between giving an automatic hug and offering a heartfelt embrace that conveys warmth. Christianity teaches us that God looks at intention before form. Those seeking a solid devotional life must learn to pray as if conversing with a close friend, not as if completing a task imposed from outside. Here's a practical lesson that can change how you pray the Rosary. Before starting, ask yourself, am I praying to fulfill an obligation or to meet Jesus Christ? This simple question adjusts the heart. Sincere prayer makes worship a living moment, builds real intimacy with God, and produces the fruit Scripture has always highlighted: inner peace, strength in trials, and clarity to live the gospel each day. When the Rosary is approached this way, every word becomes a spark of love, and that spark prepares the heart to see the Rosary not just as a prayer, but as an entire path of spiritual transformation. The Rosary is often seen merely as an object to carry in a pocket or hang from a car mirror. But in Christian spirituality, it is far more than that. Each bead is like a footprint along a path that leads straight to the heart of Jesus Christ. The Bible shows that true faith always requires perseverance, and the Rosary is precisely this school of perseverance. It is not a charm, but an itinerary. With each mystery contemplated, the mind and heart are shaped by the gospel. It's like unfolding a map on a long journey. Each marked point shows where to go and what to learn. Faith testimonies confirm that the Rosary changes lives because it creates a continuous process of inner transformation. A person who prays daily discovers, little by little, that old habits lose their grip and new virtues emerge. It's like taking an intense spiritual course without paying tuition. The devotional discipline itself becomes a silent teacher. Young Christians relying on this practice learn to see the world with new eyes, more compassionate, stronger in prayer, and more aware of God's presence in daily life. In this sense, the Rosary is not just repeated prayer, but a miniature gospel unfolding in each mystery. Practically, the Rosary can be compared to free spiritual therapy. Those who dedicate 20 minutes a day are participating in an intimate, personal service where praise, worship, and biblical reflection intertwine. This devotional practice can redirect thoughts, heal emotional wounds, and open space to better hear God's voice. It's a transformation so deep that even those who begin out of curiosity find themselves surprised. In this quiet, disciplined path, we discover that the Rosary has very ancient roots, born among monks and faithful who sought ways to pray without ceasing. The Rosary has a history spanning centuries, long before it became what we know today. In ancient times, monks recited psalms endlessly, using small stones or knots in chords to count each prayer. It was a practical way to maintain spiritual discipline and deepen faith. Over time, this practice became more popular and evolved, making it accessible to anyone wishing to draw closer to Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary without becoming a monk. The Bible, though it does not mention the Rosary directly, provides the foundation for this devotion: constant prayer and meditation on the mysteries of Christ's life and the Gospel. Adapting the Rosary for everyday life allowed young Christians, adults, and the elderly to incorporate prayer into their daily routines without complication. Each bead, each decade, is an invitation to reflection, meditation, and worship. Remarkably, even today, the Rosary maintains the simplicity, a small object capable of producing profound inner transformation. Biblical studies show that meditative repetition, practiced with faith, strengthens spirituality and creates a lasting habit of devotion. It's as if each person holds a portable mini-sermon, able to protect, teach, and inspire, no matter the circumstances. Moreover, the Rosary's history reveals an intention to unite faith and discipline. It did not emerge as a complex ritual but as a prayer practice accessible anywhere: at home, in church, on journeys, or during personal hardship. This democratization of prayer made the Rosary a spiritual instrument for everyone, showing that true faith does not depend on complicated rituals but on sincere devotion. Spirituality, therefore, is not a privilege of the few, and each Hail Mary prayed connects the faithful to the Church's tradition and to the witness of those who, centuries ago, found in this simple act both protection and a path of transformation that still resonates today. Praying the Rosary is far more than reciting words. It is true spiritual training. Each bead serves as a reminder of patience and perseverance. The Bible consistently emphasizes that faith grows through discipline, and the Rosary is a practical exercise of that truth. By dedicating even 15 minutes a day, the faithful learn to cultivate inner silence, something rare in a world filled with noise. Young Christians who begin this practice discover that patience extends beyond prayer, touching relationships, Bible study, and community life. It's like attending a school where the curriculum is spirituality itself, and devotion is the teacher. Silence, in this process, is more than the absence of sound, it is the presence of God. As one meditates on the mysteries, the mind learns to quiet itself and listen to the voice of the heart. Often, in worship services, the rush of activity keeps people from perceiving the depth of the gospel, but the Rosary enforces a conscious pause, where every word of praise and every prayer becomes an intimate dialogue with Jesus Christ. In this space, continuous prayer settles in, not as obligation, but as a devotional habit that bears tangible fruit in daily life. Those who persist notice subtle yet profound changes, wiser decisions, calm in moments of stress, and a faith that does not falter in the face of difficulties. The inner discipline the Rosary fosters is like a spiritual gym. Each day devoted to prayer is a set of exercises for the soul, strengthening virtues such as humility, gratitude, and compassion. Constant practice creates a devotional rhythm that shapes character and draws the faithful closer to a life aligned with the teachings of the Gospel. This routine can even be combined with other moments of praise, Bible study, or family worship, making spirituality a natural and consistent part of daily life. In this ongoing learning, one naturally comes to understand that praying the Rosary is both protection and a source of virtue for facing life's daily challenges. In many ways, the Rosary acts as armor that strengthens the soul. Each Hail Mary prayed with faith forms a layer of protection against temptation, fear, and negative influences in everyday life. The Bible compares faith to a shield, and the Rosary extends this metaphor, offering strength and resilience to those who practice it sincerely. Young Christians report that even in challenging environments, daily prayer provides a sense of peace and security, as if Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary are always near. This protection is invisible but manifests in actions, decisions, and the way we face personal crises. Beyond protection, the Rosary cultivates essential virtues. Patience, humility, gratitude, and discipline are shaped as one dedicates time to this devotional practice. Every moment of prayer is spiritual training, and each mystery contemplated reinforces connection to the Gospel and the Church's teachings. Biblical studies show that people with a consistent prayer routine exhibit greater emotional balance and an improved ability to handle adversity because true faith takes deep root in the soul. Wearing this spiritual armor, the faithful do not just defend themselves, they grow in virtue and wisdom. Faith testimonies are countless. Entire families shielded from conflict, young Christians guided in difficult choices, and adults finding courage to face professional and personal challenges. The Rosary acts as a quiet but powerful shield, strengthening spirituality and creating a direct connection with God. Those who persevere in this practice discover that the protection it offers is not only personal but also collective, as continuous prayer generates an atmosphere of faith that radiates peace, love, and strength. This combination of protection and virtue naturally leads to the next step: intimate union with Mary, our intercessor and guide. Praying the Rosary is, above all, approaching the heart of Mary. Each bead is not just mechanical repetition but an invitation to spiritual union with the one chosen by Jesus Christ to be mother and intercessor for all. The Bible shows that sincere prayer is heard, and church tradition teaches that Mary acts as guide and protector. When the faithful dedicate themselves to the Rosary, they feel not only consolation but a living presence that inspires courage, faith, and patience. Young Christians, especially, report that this union helps them make choices aligned with gospel principles, sensing that they are not alone on their journey. The Rosary becomes a continuous dialogue with the Virgin. Each Hail Mary is like a whisper of trust, a surrender of worries, fears, and desires to Mary's maternal care. Biblical studies emphasize that intercession does not replace personal prayer but enhances it, making each word stronger and more meaningful. In this way, the devotion ceases to be a ritual and transforms into a deep spiritual experience. In this process, faith grows, prayer deepens, and Christianity manifests not just in words but in the heart and daily practice of love and devotion. Mary's presence in the lives of those who pray the Rosary creates a force that is invisible yet tangible. Many testimonies show that moments of difficulty are navigated with greater serenity when one senses the Virgin's intercession. She guides, protects, and strengthens, almost like a silent mentor, teaching how to live the gospel in every action. Each bead, each mystery, is a step closer to understanding the importance of protecting the spirit and cultivating virtue. And it is precisely this deep bond that reveals the Rosary's transformative power through miracles and testimonies that continue to echo today. Over the centuries, countless testimonies of faith have confirmed the transformative power of the Rosary. People of all ages and backgrounds report physical healings, freedom from addictions, and profound conversions after dedicating time to daily prayer. The Bible teaches that prayer made with faith can move mountains, and the Rosary is a tangible expression of that promise. Young Christians facing family conflicts or emotional challenges often find in this devotional practice not only comfort but an inner strength that allows them to overcome situations that once seemed impossible. Each story reinforces that spirituality practiced with sincerity is never in vain. Miracles and signs are not reserved only for the saints of ancient stories. They happen in the everyday lives of those who commit to devotional practice. A mother praying the Rosary for her child's health, an adult seeking peace amid professional crises, both encounter surprising answers. Faith grows stronger, devotion deepens, and the presence of Jesus Christ becomes more tangible. Biblical studies on intercession and continuous prayer show that these devotional acts serve as catalysts for transformation, drawing the faithful closer to the Church and to the spirituality that sustains every service, sermon, and moment of worship. Beyond individual experiences, testimonies from entire communities reveal the collective impact of the Rosary. Prayer groups, young Christians gathering to meditate on the mysteries, and families devoted to the practice report significant improvements in harmony, peace, and faith. The Rosary thus becomes more than a personal spiritual weapon. It is an instrument of evangelization, community strengthening, and faith propagation. Each story, each transformation, reminds us that true prayer bears concrete fruit and prepares the heart to recognize the importance of communal practice. The Rosary is not merely an individual journey. It has the power to create deep bonds among the faithful. When families, youth groups, or entire communities gather to pray it, spirituality gains a new dimension. Each bead prayed together strengthens collective faith and creates an environment of shared worship, where praise and devotion multiply. The Bible emphasizes the importance of unity in prayer, and the Church has always encouraged practices that cultivate communion. By participating in this experience, each believer connects not only with God but also with their brothers and sisters in faith, making spirituality tangible and alive. Community practice of the Rosary turns simple gatherings into powerful moments of gospel living. Young Christians who meet to meditate on the mysteries learn not only about spiritual discipline but also about empathy, respect, and collaboration. Every shared prayer becomes an invisible link, strengthening not only individual faith but the spiritual resilience of the entire community. Biblical studies indicate that the power of group prayer is multiplied, as if every word, every act of praise, and every devotional gesture expands the reach of Jesus Christ's grace. Moreover, testimonies show that communities maintaining this practice regularly notice tangible changes: less conflict, greater harmony, and a collective sense of purpose. The Rosary thus ceases to be just an object or a devotional routine and becomes a catalyst for social and spiritual transformation. Every group that prays together experiences protection, virtue, and divine guidance more intensely, inspiring others to participate and creating a continuous cycle of faith, worship, and testimonies. At this point, we see how spiritual union with Mary, intercession, and miracles naturally intertwine with communal practice, revealing the full power of the Rosary.